Today I'm going to make a clay frog. So the first thing I'm going to do is take off a chunk of clay, probably about a third of my clay, set it aside. I'm going to use that for making the eyes, the legs, that kind of stuff. And I'm going to take the larger portion and I'm going to roll that up. I'm going to make a pinch pot. So I'm just going to press in my thumb, turn, pinch, over and over like that. I want the walls of my pinch pot to be about as thick as my finger, about ½ an inch or so tends to be pretty good. Now I'm going to take that pinch pot and I'm going to turn it on its side, and this is going to make my frog's mouth opening. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll some coils. I'm just going to roll one nice long coil to start. And I'm going to split that in half. I'm going to take about half of this to make a back leg to attach for my frog. So I'm going to wet it, scratch it. I need to wet this piece, scratch it, and attach it here. Always remember, slip, scratch, smooth. I need to wet it, scratch it, press the pieces together, and smooth over the cracks. The water makes the clay soft and sticky, or you can have slip, which has a little bit of clay in it. It's like a very watered down clay to make it nice and sticky. I can scratch it to create loose edges that get tangled together, kind of like Velcro, and then smooth it over the cracks. I try to sort of unify it, I try to get clay pushed from one piece onto the other to get it all nice and unified. I don't want to see a crack where one piece ends and the other begins. I want it all to sort of flow together. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to roll another coil to make my two front legs. I'm going to roll 2 balls of clay to make eyes that'll stick up on top of the frog's head. Just 1, 2. I'm not going to worry about details right now, but I do want to make sure they're about the same size. That one's a little bit big. And again, as I attach pieces, I need to make sure that I slip, scratch, and smooth. So that's what he's looking like at this stage. Kind of roughed in. I've got the big features, and now I'm going to start to add littler details. I might think about making something like a little eyelid to go on top of the eyes and smooth that on. I might use something like a marker cap to press in circles, adding details inside the eyes. Or I might use the back of my needle tool to poke in little pupils. I might roll a nice big coil and then press it flat to make a long tongue that can be sticking out of my frog's mouth, like this. But I don't want it to go straight out. I'm going to make it a little bit wavy. First I want to attach it. So I'm going to slip, scratch, and smooth. Get it nicely attached inside. And I always like to try to think about a pose that gives a little bit of action and some movement to it. Like that. I might press down its feet. I might give him a little bit of toes. I always want to pay attention to the texture, smooth over cracks, all that sort of stuff. It only takes a little bit of time, but it is definitely well worth that time. Now, one other thing I might do, if I wanted to push this one step further, is I might cut a hole in the back of this where I could put my phone inside, and then the sound will sort of echo and reverberate inside of here, creating sort of a ceramic DIY speaker. I always want to remember that as the clay dries out, it's going to shrink by about 10%. So I want to make sure my hole is a little bit bigger than my phone would be to allow for that shrinking that's going to happen as the clay dries out. I might test it with my phone. Make sure that it fits and give it a little bit of extra wiggle room just in case. So that should fit nicely. And one other thing to keep in mind, when you've got something like a tongue that's sticking out like this, it's sort of a cantilever design with nothing underneath it to support it. I might take a balled up paper towel and put it underneath the clay to support it just until the clay dries and hardens. Similarly, I might put a balled up paper towel inside of my frog's mouth to support it so that it doesn't collapse as the clay is drying out. And then once the clay dries and hardens, I can just take out the paper towel or let it burn off in the kiln if I'm worried about breaking something as the paper towel comes out.